So now we need to create an HTML document called cookie login start and add a form. So when we go to Aptana, you can go ahead and hit File, New from Template, HTML, blank file, or I guess you can take any HTML file that you have already and then file save as cookie login start. That would be the most efficient way to get this done. And then just use your skills that you've learned so far to put this web page together. All it needs is a form in the center of the page. So here is an example of mine. I just have it's a cookie clicker. Will it ever end? A special banner for this page, and a form here in the middle that has a border around it, rounded corners, and a shadow. This is all CSS, right? And so how do we get the form going? Well, if I scroll down, you could see that this is our form right here. And so you basically want to type this in word for word, right? And so let me just go over some of the finer points. The first thing is right here. It's the action in the form field. The action means when you click the submit button, it's going to run this file. Okay, so yeah, this doesn't need to be cookie login, but you should probably just follow the same naming conventions that I have. It just makes for more cleaner arrangement of the code here on the left side. And then we have method post. We don't really need to talk about that yet. We'll get to that. But basically, it's the method that the data that's being entered here in the form is sent to cookielogin.php. There's get and there's post. Okay, so we're going to use post here. And then class spacing tiny, we're using that to get the spacing right. And then we have this ID, which is what I used to define the box with the drop shadow and the rounded corners. And then inside of it, we have our input. And in our input, we have, it's inside of a 12-column box, so it stretches all the way across. And yeah, it has its own style. Our class is full width on the input, so it stretches across the 12-column box. And the type is text. That means I am going to be writing text in here. And we have, yeah, this required. Okay, and so that means that they cannot submit it without having filled in that portion of the form. So if I hit submit, it's going to say please fill out this form. Okay, and then we have password. You could see here that I have the type is equal to password. That ensures that when I type, it doesn't show what I've written. And then lastly, we have here a submit button. Okay, and yeah, so when I hit the submit button, it's going to go to this PHP file, and it's going to run it. And that PHP file is going to be given the input that's given here and given here, right, for the password and the username. And yeah, and oh, one more thing is here we have name user and name pass. That's going to have to do with how this file is going to receive this data. It's going to receive it in a variable called user. It's going to receive this in a variable called pass. Okay. And that's about it. Yeah, so if you get this web page going and it looks nice, then you'll be ready to go.